my name is Javier Rasero. I'm a Spanish-born actor who's been living in the UK for the last 22 years, on and off. And my involvement with Terra Nova Productions is I was involved in a production part from the Arrival series called Mundo. And I was involved with them in 2016 and 2017. I've always been very driven towards projects that highlight social issues. I think theatre has an art in general, but I think theatre has a tremendous power to be able to put a mirror and a spotlight on society, and for people to be able to realize some people are completely oblivious to things that are happening around them, and maybe some people really switch off on the news because they don't want to hear, because it's all very negative at the moment, and it's been for a long time. And I think sometimes the power of the dramatic vehicle makes them really to sit down and listen, and to realize that there are issues that are out there, and this is happening to real people, and real people that live a lot closer to you than you think. Is not really far away. And I think in the project that I was involved with, it was something that was happening in Northern Ireland, and it was happening in a intercultural couple, and it made people realize that yes, they want to listen, and they want to get involved, and they are outraged by things that were affecting people in their community. So this is really, for me, the highlight of this project, and that's why I was so happy to be able to get involved in 2 consecutive years with it. So my agent back in 2016 let me know about this audition, about this project, about the Arrival's Mundo story. And when I read about it, and when I researched a little bit about it, I was really taken by the storyline and the power that this couple had in terms of their story. Is based on a real story of Joaquin and Lisa. Joaquin being a dancer from Peru, and Lisa a journalist from Northern Ireland, and the struggles that they were going through about them to be able to have a settled status as such, especially from Joaquin's side of it, in Northern Ireland, and to be able for him to stay and remain and work and be part of the family that they had with their kids. And so the storyline really moved me. And when I went to the audition, I remember meeting all the Terra Nova team, and seeing how passionate they were about telling the story. And that really transpired into from the audition and what they wanted to get out of me in the audition, to then all the rehearsal process that we had back in Belfast, and how the rehearsal process evolved, and how free we were as performers to be able, within the limitations of the storyline, to be able to explore areas and to devise ways of telling the story, not only verbally or through the text, but also through movement and physical expression. And throughout the whole line, it was very clear that it was a real passion of Terra Nova to be able to tell these stories, and to get involved the Northern Ireland community into letting them know what it was happening in their community. For me personally, I think, I am a storyteller, and it's very good to entertain and to give fictional stories in order to do that job and to entertain people. But it's also really important to use the the vessel of being a storyteller to highlight issues that are currently affecting people. So for me personally, it was the stories of people who had come to see the show, and people who came and told me that, you know, they knew people like the ones that I was portraying in the storyline, and that they were moved and they were affected by what they had seen, and they actually wanting to get involved and wanting to speak to the government person in the community to say if they could do anything about it, or if they could get involved in some way. So that possibility of having some sort of impact on people's decisions and people's perception of how the issues were in the community was very, very important for me. And there's something that whenever I've looked into projects from my time at Terra Nova, I've always been actively looking into getting involved in projects that would highlight issues like that. Well, it was a great experience for me. I think it was the first time that I toured around part of the UK and part from Northern Ireland. Especially, I had been to Belfast before once or twice, but I didn't really know Northern Ireland. I hadn't been immersed on the culture and the traditions, and I had the possibility to experience and live there for 2 months in 2 consecutive years, which was an eye-opening and a really great discovery. I'm very, very fond of Northern Ireland since then. And I had the chance to work with amazing actors and amazing performers. On the first year that we did Mundo, I had the real good luck to work with Gemma May Halligan, who played Lisa, my wife, and also Andrew Stanford, who played the other roles like the judge and the government officer. And then when we retook the play back in 2017, the following year, Andrew Stanford was changed, and we had Nuala Makiva, and it was just an amazing experience and an amazing learning for me to be able to work with such great actors and to learn so much about them and the relationship between all of us. And what I learned about having been the only actor from outside of Northern Ireland, it was a great learning process for me, and I really got involved into all the areas and what it meant to be in Northern Ireland and how everything affected it. Now, this is a really difficult question, because then I end up with 5 or 6 all the time. I would say they're bold, they are innovative, and they are unafraid, I would say. So yes, I think they have, those are the 3 words, but I think, they've been pioneering in many ways, I think, in ways of telling stories. And even now, I don't think there is any other theatre company or production company that has that kind of position in the Northern Ireland art spectrum.